Yo, yo, you already know this punch from boxing, baby. And we had this discussion the other day. This is gonna be part two. There's gonna be part two because we didn't come down with an agreement, and I want to make this. You know, we need to agree. You know, as the majority. Yet we want to talk about facts. Facts, y'all. Facts. This punch drunk boxing fight of the decade, but I gotta implement y'all in it because at the end of the day, this is us. This is hardcore boxing fans. Remember, we gotta break it down unbiasedly, logically, and objectively, ladies and gentlemen. No biasness, no Mayweather fans, no Pacquiao fans, no Wilder fans, no War, no Canelo, and whoever you feel like should be in the talks of being fighter of the decade. Now, when we're talking about fight of the decade, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not talking about no 2009, 2008. I'm not talking about what they did in their career. We're talking about 2010 up to 2020. So if there's any Manny Pacquiao fans, don't mention the fight with Barrea or Morales. If you're a Floyd Mayweather fan, I don't want to hear nothing about no Oscar de la Hoya fight, um, Gotti. No, we're talking about 2010 up to 2020. And like I said again, I did this. I did the show. I believe it was last week. I couldn't come around it and stuff like that. And I said everybody got to do their homework. Let's do our homework. Let's understand each other. Let's talk facts. Facts. What up? What up? What up, Saint? We're gonna be breaking it down facts. No feelings involved. No bias. No bias, y'all. Let's break it down unbiasedly, logically, and objectively. And what are the criteria in becoming fighter of the decade? We're talking about accomplishments. We're talking about wins and versus who. And we're going to talk about when we're talking about the opponents that they beat, is where were their opponents at? What were their rankings at the moment? Because I don't want people to get it mixed up. Because you may feel like, oh, but well, he beat this guy. This guy was a nothing. But at that time, you already know, man. Smash the like button. You already know. Support your boy. Super chat if you feel like it. If you like the content, if you like the channel, support the movement. No career. We're talking about 2010 to 2000 up to 2020. Last time we was going through I think we already went through Mayweather's resume. We went through Canelo's resume, Manny Pacquiao resume, Wilder's resume, and just let me start off with, because we know the obvious. We know so much about what Manny Pacquiao has done. We know what Mayweather some of the people was saying that, oh, but Mayweather he stopped in 2015. And I think what messed up Mayweather in the criteria of fight of the decade was that he fought Conor McGregor. Again, we going straight to the books, facts. So that diminishes Mayweather. That Conor McGregor fight, he should have never took it. He should have never they should have never commissioned that fight. But he wanted it to make it a 50 and 0, and we can't give him that, even though that was how you say, like a monumental thing. But we gotta also understand a Mayweather beat Manny Pacquiao. Whether how people feel, oh man, he didn't feel, I don't feel like he lost or whatever. Or Manny Pacquiao losing to Bradley and Jeff Horn. Now in the first live show, I said, okay, we're gonna give him leeway from the Jeff Horn fight. We're gonna give Manny Pacquiao leeway to the, but we can't give him two leeways because in the end of the day, we going straight to the books. We're not going, well, we know that Manny Pacquiao beat Bradley, and we know that he beat Jeff Horn, because also it takes away from the other people in their careers. Now, we was talking about Canelo Alvarez, and I'm just going by, briefly recapping what we talked about last week. We know Canelo Alvarez beat Lara, beat Triple G, lost to Mayweather, um, beat Daniel Jacobs, beat Sergey Kovalev. So when I was talking about Canelo Alvarez being a fourth division world titleist, he did it in this decade. And people were saying that, oh, but what about Manny Pacquiao? Manny Pacquiao was 8 times world champion. Like I said, and I was reassuring people, look, we're talking about 2010, 2000 to 2020. So whatever Manny Pacquiao did or anybody else did before 2010 is not counted. Not counted at all. Because I do get in the conversation will be like, oh, but he's an 8th division world champion and da da da. Or this person. 2010, 2020. Wilder. Why people, oh man, but what Wilder did, who he fought. The end of the day, Wilder has knocked out every fighter in the decade. And like I mentioned in the video, Wilder has knocked out 24 people in one decade. 24 straight knockouts, and have 33 knockouts in this decade alone. Where am I wrong at? I don't even think I said anything like to be right or wrong. All I'm saying is just facts. Where am I wrong? I haven't explained anything yet. I'm just recapping what we talked about. Can you protect? My fault, man. Say it again. I was driving. My fault. My fault. Can you? Damn, I can't even look at the chat. Hold on. Nah, I can't. All right, good. My fault. I got it. Can you predict for Wilder versus Fury 2? I got Wilder in a knockout, not going more than 8 rounds. Not going more than 8 rounds. Um, Deontay Wilder never knock out Fury. What I said was, in this decade, Deontay Wilder had 24 straight knockouts, 33 knockouts overall. I didn't say he knocked out Fury. You see? You gotta listen, my brother. You gotta listen. I said Deontay Wilder had 24 straight knockouts, 33 knockouts overall. He didn't knock out Fury. It was a draw, but he knocked him down 2 times, making that he have knocked down every man he ever faced. Now remember, we're talking about the decade. We're talking about a decade. And that's un, it's very unlikely that you're gonna get 24 straight knockouts, 33 knockouts in a span of 10 years. So um Canelo Alvarez lost once to Floyd Mayweather. Manny Pacquiao lost to Bradley, Jeff Horn, and Floyd Mayweather. Um Wilder hasn't lost. Ward is still undefeated. And why I mentioned Ward was I put Ward in the list also because the Super Series, whether people understand that the Super Series was actually going to be a monumental series in the sport of boxing of this era. Now, people might not be like a house. They're not household names. The guy that he was beating in his division in the Super Series, the Chad Dawson of the world, um, and things like that. But that was a hard excuse my language, hard ass tournament. It was the best fighting the best at that division. And remember, we're going by opponents as well, and where were they when these guys beat them? Also, Manny Pacquiao lost to Marquez. Was it? Wasn't it? Yeah, it was this decade, 2012. He got knocked out by Marquez. So in that sense, that diminished Pacquiao's. So really, that knockout diminishes Pacquiao's. The Conor McGregor fight diminishes Mayweather because of the resume. Um, Canelo Alvarez, as of right now, the way we talking about, because hey, we could change our mind. That's why I said we got to do it together, fellas. We got to do it together. Let's come with facts, no feelings. Let's just pure facts. Only because you're the fighter of the decade doesn't mean that they're better than. That doesn't mean if Canelo's fighter of the decade doesn't mean he's better than Manny Pacquiao. We're just talking about the decade. We're just talking about the decade. Because if we say who's the best fighter of the century, the GOAT, then that's another conversation. That's another conversation. In accomplishment wise, I feel accomplishment wise, Canelo Alvarez has the better accomplishment, becoming a four-time division world champion. What y'all think? Right now, in this conversation, up to now, remember we could switch it up, but right now, my lead is Canelo Alvarez as fighter of the decade right now. I just feel like Canelo Alvarez has challenged himself. The guys that he beat in their prime, Daniel Jacobs in his prime, Triple G in his prime, B Sergey in La, Chocolatito. That could be two Chocolatito too, and they have erased him off the face of the earth. ESPN, because he lost one time. He lost, like they gave him, he lost all credibility. But you right, my brother, Chocolatito should be in the mix of that talk because he was pound for pound dude for a long. He had a good reign. Good morning, my brother. Good morning, Sacramento. By the way, I hope everybody's having a good morning. Hope everybody's having a good morning. I hope everybody brushed their teeth. Okay? Smell like bad breath and coffee ain't no good, man. Ain't no good. Coffee itself, Be like, man, I was in a rush, man. I was in a rush, man. I usually brush my teeth every day, but you know what I'm saying, I was in a rush. Damn, this bus driver is slow, man. Come on, man. Damn, I'm here talking to the people. Thank you, man. Thank you. Good love and support, my brother, man. Make my day, man. Y'all make my day, baby. Y'all make my day. Um, damn, I'm about to go to Walmart too, man. Got to finish Christmas shopping too, man. You know, sometimes I don't feel like buying nobody nothing. I don't get nothing for Christmas. I'm the damn Santa Claus. I'm tired of being damn Santa Claus. Nobody give me nothing. Nothing for Grima. Sometimes we break my head like, yo, what the hell I'm gonna, yo, why I'm gonna buy everybody Christmas? I don't get nothing. I don't get that much. My wife give me something, you know, depend on her, but everybody else. I got my cousins kids calling me Theo and stuff like that. They hit me up all of a sudden. Man, I haven't heard from you like all year. How you doing in school? I'm doing okay. Yeah, right. But who else y'all feel like you should be on the list? Am I right now leading in the polls? Leading in the polls right now. Canelo Alvarez is leading in the polls. Am I wrong for saying that? Fight of the decade right now. The guy that's leading in the polls in this conversation is Canelo Alvarez. He retired 2015. Yep, that's what I said earlier. He retired too early within the decade, and his last fight was Conor McGregor. And that right there, compared to the other guys, is no bueno. Well, people gonna be like, oh, but Deontay Wilder, who he fought. In the end of the day, 24 straight knockouts, 33 knockouts in 1 decade. God damn, is a lot. And also, people gotta, when it comes to Deontay Wilder, people gotta stop saying, oh, but he fighting bums. Remember, Deontay Wilder started fighting at 20 years old. He is supposed to be the bum. He's supposed to be that. He ain't supposed to be the guy that is right now. Ain't a lot of people talking about, oh, but he don't got no technique. But he sure got some technique, knocking the same people out with the same damn punch. So that's why I got Wilder there. 10 title defenses as well within the decade. He never won a title in another division, my mistake. Well, I didn't say pound for pound. I said fight of the decade. Because, see, there's a lot of terminology that we go. We go by the GOAT conversation. We go by who's the best pound for pound conversation. We just talk about strictly fighter, all around, accomplishment wise, opponent wise, performance wise, too. How do you beat your opponents? And that's another thing in this decade. And put it this way, because we're going to go by performance as well. At least Ward, who has beaten Sergey Kovalev when Sergey Kovalev was the crusher, the real crusher, the Russian, Mother Russia. Remember, Pacquiao was fighter of the decade. Both. I don't know. I don't know. I think that Pacquiao is up there, but his losses hinders him. Yo, Merry Christmas, boy! Expose! Merry Crema! Good looking out, man. Good looking out. Always looking out, my brother. You the man. You the best, yo. God bless you. And that's why I say we gotta put our feelings aside. Manny Pacquiao is the GOAT. But when we're talking about this decade, he lost couple fights, man. I love you too, bro. Yo, what's good, T? Um, Manny Pacquiao got knocked out. I mean, in the list, he's the only one that actually got knocked out. Even though he was fighting future Hall of Famer, dude was top 5 pound for pound when he fought him, I believe so. Marquez, but he lost. We got to take that into consideration. He lost to Mayweather. Got to take that into consideration. Jeff Horn, the robbery. I said we're gonna give him a leeway because of that. People felt that Lara beat Canelo. Should we talk about that? Because of course we're gonna have to talk about performance as well. Who thinks Lara beat Canelo Alvarez? Is that fight gonna hinder him a little bit? Now a lot of people talk about, oh, Amir Khan fight was kind of a mismatch or whatever. But it's not like Canelo Alvarez was 175 pounds. Canelo Alvarez never fought above 160 pounds. You know what I'm saying? And they fought at a catch weight. Didn't they fight in 155? The Amir Khan fight. Somebody, if you can, because I'm driving right now. What weight did Canelo Alvarez fought Amir Khan? The catch weight. Because if it was 155, I really don't want to hear, oh, that Canelo Alvarez was too big. Somebody's always going to be bigger in most of the fights. Somebody's always going to be bigger. Do you think Lomachenko should be fighter of the decade? Do you feel Lomachenko is fighter of the decade, but Lomachenko lost once to Salido? Lomachenko lost once to Salido. 155 pounds, right? So I don't believe that. Boom. Amir Khan wasn't that small. Canelo Alvarez wasn't that big. Remember, we talking about at that time. Because now people see it like 175 pounds. He just finished fighting a lightweight. Oh, you see how big Canelo? Wait. At that time, Canelo Alvarez was 155 pounds. So as of now, to be honest, I gotta have Canelo Alvarez right now as the forefront in the polls right now, y'all. Mikey Garcia's up there. Mm. Remember, he took almost what 2 years off. Um, and I don't know. I don't know, guys. You know why? It's also who he beat. Remember, great accomplishment. But think about it. The same account. What was it? No, Mike Garcia is a 3 division world champion. Because if we're just gonna go by, because we gotta go by who they beat as well for that accomplishment. Because hey, Adrian Broner is a 4 division world champion, a 3 division world champion in this decade. I'm not gonna say he is. I'm just saying that we gotta go also their accomplishment, great, who they beat as well, and how they beat him. Mike Garcia could be up there, but is he better than Canelo Alvarez in fight of the decade? Nah. Better than Lomachenko in the decade? Nah. I think I put, am I crazy if I say I even got Naoya Inoue in top of Mikey Garcia? If there's a top 10 list of fight of the decade, I got Inoue because of his accomplishments. Mm. I'm in the mountains, so the I might get cut off. If I do, and it freezes, stay tuned. Don't leave. I just gotta pass this mountain spot. It's gonna freeze probably within a couple seconds. Um, if it shuts off, then I'll start a new live. I don't know about Yep, that's why I got Canelo. You're right. You hit ding 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 ding. You hit it. You hitting it, my brother. That's why I got. I don't know if I could put anybody in top of Canelo as fight of the decade right now. Accomplishment wise, the fight I still got still sorting things out. with the merch. Loma only got 15 fights, not eligible for consideration. But it's the decade though. I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna put him in front of Canelo, but I think he could be in the hunt as well. Is I like that Canelo has a Hall of Fame decade. That's real, man. That's for real. I mean, I don't see people disagreeing with the Canelo with my Canelo pick as of now. But like I said, we doing it together. This ain't, you know, we all hardcore boxing fans, so I value everybody's opinion if it's unbiased, logically, and objectively. No favoritism here. We can have our own favorite fighters, but at the end of the day, let's be fair to the boxers and the fighters that you know risk their life for pure entertainment. Let's be fair. And who got Pacquiao is always a great fight pick. Pacquiao does, but did he show it in this decade? And also, he won that Keith Thurman win is big in my opinion, because I feel like even Keith Thurman was top 5 pound for pound before he got injured. He came back. Listen to me on this one, because ESPN likes to dictate the narrative. Keith Thurman was number 4 in the pound for pound list. Number 5, number 4. I believe it was number 4 in the pound for pound list before he got injured. I remember when Andre Ward, and I remember when Floyd Mayweather was on the pound for pound list, and when Floyd Mayweather went to jail or retired, they took him out the pound for pound list. They took Andre Ward off the pound for pound list. But when they came back, they put him right into the pound for pound list. They put Floyd Mayweather right under Manny Pacquiao when he came back. But with Keith Thurman, when he came back, they didn't put him right on the pound for pound list. And he beat Josecito Lopez. No matter how people feel like he beat him, he still beat Josecito Lopez. Once Keith Thurman came back and was active, they were supposed to put him right in the pound for pound list, just like they did with Andre Ward, just like they did with Floyd Mayweather. So for me, Manny Pacquiao just didn't beat who I consider the best welterweight at the time. He also beat a top 5 pound for pound on my list. Don't let ESPN change the narrative. So for me, with Manny Pacquiao, that was a big win. That was a big win. And I think that's what keeps him in the hunt. Um, but the last 2 years, man, for Canelo Alvarez is been monumental year. 10 title defenses by Wilder is good too. Yes, he don't have household names, but he's beaten top 10 heavyweights at the time. But Crawford is him being undisputed. How many undisputed fighters there were in the world in the sport of boxing? How many undisputed boxer there was in this era, in this decade? How many do we consider that? Exactly. Thurman was a super champ. That's why I was pumping Thurman a lot, because I just feel he wasn't getting his just due. And of course, YouTube channels like the LDBC, the Gay Panther Party, um, Black Keith Thurman, because huh? Um, I was Mayweather included fight of the decade. Why Floyd Mayweather was included in fight of the decade? Because he's beaten guys who are on the top list of fight of the decade. He beat Canelo Alvarez and he beat Manny Pacquiao. And that has to be considered as being big, right? Now, you remember what I said in the beginning, that we're going by accomplishments and fighters that they beat, but where were they at that time? Now, was Canelo Alvarez a champion? Yes. But was Canelo Alvarez, when he fought Floyd Mayweather, the Canelo Alvarez of today? Or he was just the Canelo Alvarez, the Canelo Alvarez that beat Austin Trout? So people may say, oh, yo, but Floyd Mayweather beat Canelo Alvarez and Floyd beat Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, but Canelo Alvarez was not even close to his prime. Not even close to his prime, right? The only noticeable win that Canelo had before fighting Floyd Mayweather, and tell me if I'm wrong or right, was Austin Trout. Same guy that beat Miguel Cotto. He was undefeated, became a champion. But I think that's the most noticeable fight for Canelo Alvarez, leading to the Manny Pacquiao. I mean the Floyd Mayweather fight. And remember, like I said, is when they beat these guys. So that's why I got Floyd Mayweather, because he did beat Canelo Alvarez. He beat Manny Pacquiao. But for me, Canelo Alvarez was not the Canelo Alvarez of today. But we can't say nothing away from Floyd Mayweather by being. We can't. However it is, and also the win with Canelo Alvarez was a split decision. Sure. Um, I just think that Conor McGregor put Floyd Mayweather, even though they had half of the decade, he beat dudes in that decade, but that Conor McGregor puts him. It diminishes the decade. If he would have ended up with a ban, if he would have fought, if he would have fought Keith Thurman as he should have for his last fight, and he would have beat him at that time, then I would have been mad. He ended with a ban, but he couldn't. He ended his career with a Conor McGregor, guy that has zero, no boxing experience, and they counted that. That killed him for the fight of the decade. What do y'all think about Bud Crawford undisputed accomplishment in this decade? Remember, there's not a lot of undisputed dudes in the sport of boxing in history, but in this decade, how many undisputed in this decade? Because I was about to say, because if we don't take Bud Crawford's undisputed seriously, then we all will be contradicting ourselves. That accomplishment is important. We can't diminish an undisputed, no matter how or who he diminish an undisputed. Undisputed is an undisputed. Now, I'm not saying he's fight of the decade, but we got to hold that real high into consideration, that accomplishment. Just like in a nutshell, when we look at everything overall, right? We always say, for example, let's say like for Manny Pacquiao, we look at 8 division world titles when we talking about, if the conversation was um fighter the GOAT, we always say the accomplishments of Manny Pacquiao. We always straight to the 8 division world title. Nobody does the 8 division. We go by the accomplishment. So also when we doing it in this decade, we, we should go straight by the numbers, right? That's just being fair, right? So in this decade, Canelo Alvarez, 4 division world champion in a decade, good. But Crawford, undisputed, 2 division world title, well, 3 division world titles, 135, 140, 147. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not sure if he when he got the 135 title. I don't got the numbers in my face. It was up. It was above 2010. Ah, the assignment. Good looking, bro. The assignment. Hand over your papers, students. Hand over your papers. Y'all already know, man. Smash the like button. That man, we gotta get this. We gotta come to an understanding. We gotta come to a concrete answer, y'all. We gotta come to a concrete answer. Who is the fighter of the decade? We're not going with our hearts. We're going with our minds. We're going with the compliments. We're going by facts. We're going by performance. We're going by ranked fighters that they beat at the time of when they beat them, wins, losses, defenses. Now, one thing I don't like with the Canelo, and I might be nitpicking this, but one thing that I don't like about this era, but Canelo is probably the master of this, is vacating belts. Because when you vacate a belt, where's the defensives coming from? Where's the title defenses? Now, cool, you moving up in weight class. How many belts has how many belts have Canelo have thrown away? Should there be a penalty? Oh, two. I forgot. I forgot, ladies and gentlemen. We have to add that too. We have to add it for the Canelo. We have to add the ass strap that he was tested positive. He didn't fight positive, but we have to include that, ladies and gentlemen. We have to include that. I forgot to include that. We have to include it, that he tested positive in this decade as well. Mm. Just got to be fair, right? We got to keep it real. So he got accomplishment good, belts, 4th division world title list, tested positive within this decade, y'all. What that does, mm, does that elevate who it elevates? Does that elevate now if Pacquiao has moved up into the polls? Mm, Canelo just took a hit on that one, didn't he, huh? Yep. Now let's say if he would have fought fight it and then they would have reinstated him, meaning that they would have overturned it like they did Dillian White. So the stamp is off, but he was suspended, y'all. He was suspended. Mm, mm. And I was about to forget to add that. I was about to forget to add that. Well, boom, he takes a hit right there. It would have been a perfect situation for Canelo Alvarez. And I think that should be, in my opinion, especially in the sport of boxing. In other sports, sometimes I don't even take it too serious. When it comes to baseball, I don't take it. I don't take it too serious no more. I used to be a big baseball fan, and I think they killed it. They killed the momentum too much. Steroids, this, steroids, that. I don't give a damn because the pitchers was using 70% of the pitchers was using steroids. So let the batters use steroids too. But when it comes to combat fighting, and you got that other person life on the line, where you could kill somebody and you enhanced. Now again, he didn't. He was never tested positive after a fight, during a fight, bef- but he was tested positive heading into training camp. And the contaminated meat, you ain't getting a pass for that one. Because if you know that in your country there's a lot of teams, a lot of soccer team, a lot of players, a lot of boxers today, even though Rodriguez got caught, but they didn't suspend him. They actually suspended Canelo Alvarez. They caught 2 dudes this year, right? Earlier this year. Rodriguez, they didn't suspend them. So I can't, hold them accountable because he wasn't punished. But Canelo Alvarez was punished. I mean, Golden Boy Promotion did a wonderful job. PR did a wonderful job in just almost forgetting about that he tested positive. A lot of people don't even care anymore. But if we're gonna do assessing fight of the decade, mm, in some polls, to be honest, in some polls, you might be taken out of the poll. Now, would I be mad if somebody else is doing the fight of the decade and they say they take out Canelo Alvarez just for the strength that he was tested positive and he just can't be in the poll because of that? Um, no, no, no. He didn't test positive. What Chavez Jr. was that he didn't want to take the test. He didn't go and take the test when he was supposed to take the test. He didn't allow them. He didn't allow them to test him. But we don't know if he tested positive or not. That's what he was. That was the problem. I do. With that, we got. Should we elevate? Like I said, I, I still don't think I could take Canelo Alvarez out the number one. But hey, if we all come with an agreement that if that takes a big hit, then I'm with y'all. I'm with y'all on that. I think if we all come with agreement and say, "Yo, Canelo was," but uh, with that testing positive stuff, how can he be? I understand. Manny Pacquiao could be elevated, but we have to be real. He did lose 3 times in the decade, y'all. He lost 3 times. We can't we- just we I just don't see how we could have him as number one unless if we let's break it down. Let's break somebody else. Let's break other guys down. We already broke Canelo Alvarez. I think we stayed in Canelo Alvarez for a while. Let's came up with the positive. That's a big hit. That's a big hit. But Manny Pacquiao could be elevated, but as number one, he lost to Mayweather. He lost. He got knocked out cold. Just ain't lose to Marquez. He got knocked out cold by Marquez. Lost to Jeff Horn, which I said in the first in part one of the fight of the decade. I said, ugh, trust me, Pacquiao has done one. Why is she flashing the light on me? Pacquiao has done wonderful things. I really don't think he'll win. It's time for that award. I don't think that Pacquiao win. And I know we could also say he's 41 years old, but let's not come with the age. Let's be fair. I mean, cause then I feel like if we do that, then we're like pity him because if he wins, it's good. He's 41 years old, but if he lose, people could be like, oh, but he lost because he's 41 years old. You know, you understand? So let's not even bring the age. Let's go by accomplishments. But then I did bring Canelo Alvarez age as well when it came to Floyd Mayweather. So I don't want to contradict myself. So Jeff Horn, not really. Manny Pacquiao, bro. That's why I gave the leeway. That's why I'm giving Manny Pacquiao the leeway of the Jeff Horn. I think we all will agree that it was a robbery. Who doesn't feel like the Jeff Horn was a robbery? And state your case. State your case. If we all in agreement that it was a pure robbery, then we give Manny Pacquiao the leeway for that. Who is the judges of these awards? We are the judges. We are the judges, my brother. That's why we don't need no ESPN to tell us anything. We know boxing just as much as a Matt Kellerman. Matt Kellerman just probably know how he mastered the English language and he using big words. He big words. Stop using big words, Gina. Stop using the big words. You know ESPN is not gonna probably put Canelo. I think who put Canelo? I think I read Dan Raphael put Canelo as number one. Dan Raphael and but also when I hear people who's doing the thing, man, forget about it. We doing the thing. We the hardcore boxing fans. We know in and out of. We know the ins and outs of boxing. Not these dudes that when an event comes along, they want to write. They do their homework and they do it right there. Nah, man, we follow boxing all year round. They got Stephen A. Smith giving interviews to Buck Crawford, and come on, he don't know nothing. Man, he beat Joshua Cotto Monquez. Joshua Pacquiao was ahead of the voting. This stream to the is your fighter of the decade. Tell me the truth. Like I said, Tim, my fighter of the decade leading the polls is Canelo Alvarez. My right now leading the polls. Now I remembered about Canelo Alvarez testing positive. So for me, that has to take a huge hit on my assessment. So then now we're looking for people that just because I don't know how far down Canelo's gonna go for that, but who is willing to? Everybody else is gonna move up. But then when I look at Manny Pacquiao and I look at that, he lost to Marquez. He lost bad knockout. He lost to Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather's on the list. Floyd Mayweather beat Canelo Alvarez and Manny Pacquiao. Yet he fought half the year, and then he has a Conor McGregor in his resume. Mm. Andre Ward did this accomplished the Super Series, which was very challenging. We got Bud Crawford that was undisputed. We probably got Lomachenko as well, that's been fighting ranked fighters ever since he started. And what is a two division world champion, a three division world champion, has unified the division. Um, who's gonna go a little up? I just, I mean, we could go. I mean, we could elevate Pacquiao, but I just feel like nobody's really talking about that he lost. I think I look. If you're not, if you don't, if you don't love Manny Pacquiao, you're not a boxing fan. We all love Manny Pacquiao, but we cannot take away that he lost 3 times. And if we're gonna give him the leeway with the Jeff Horn, but we can't take away that, y'all. We can't take away that. Let me move a little back. I'm gonna go to Donna. We can't take away that, man. We gotta be fair, y'all. We gotta be fair. We gotta be fair. Um, Fights, win, losses, and draws. Mayweather 10-0. Canelo 23-1. Canelo 12-4. See? Wilder. I put Wilder up there too. 24 straight knockouts, 33 knockouts in the decade, 10 title defenses. But when you state the fighter, when you say Manny Pacquiao, say why. Just don't make the statement so we could all understand each other. Pacquiao also was one of the one who won the last fight of the decade. We're not talking about the last decade, my brother. We're talking about this decade. We're not bringing other accomplishments from the past and bringing it to this decade. Uh, do not bring nothing that they didn't. If it was 2009 in December, we're not counting it. We're talking about 2010 up to 2020. 2010 up to 2020. Let's be fair. We're bringing out this decade. We're breaking things down unbiasedly. If you love Floyd, if you love Wilder, if you love Canelo, if you love Manny Pacquiao, take that heart, throw it in the garbage for now. We're going by. Should I comment my? Go ahead, Reeve. Oh, right, Reeve. Go ahead, baby. Say it. We all boxing. We all 2000 quality of opponent, man. Pacquiao easy. Quality, yes, he has wins, but you gotta count the losses. You gotta count the losses. We gotta state the case. Boo, you named the fight. The argument for Crawford, he got unified. He undefeated, a couple of name victories, Horn Khan. Hey, that undisputed is big. That undisputed is big as well. An accomplishment. We got to go by accomplishment. Three division world title, unified 140. I mean, undisputed at unified 135. Big. And welterweight demolished the demolished the guy that got robbed Pacquiao. And whether we like it or not, was undefeated too. Two losses, I will give you that. Mayweather Marquez, but not the other two. Andre was the only other one who can match the quality with opponents. I like the lad. I like that's right there is facts. What you said. If you aren't saying that Pac-Man had lost, then Crawford, the Canelo fights this decade one time. Okay, Carlos. He's leading in our polls right now. He's leading in our polls. So try to break it down in layman's terms. Try to chop it up. Mayweather for me. Ooh. Oh, okay. Again, state your case, my brother. State your case. Canelo's a PD user. He did get caught with PDs. We gotta um diminish him in that's a big blow. That's a big blow. Probably in other people's um polls, he might not even be in the poll just because of that. If they're really, really picky and really hate that, not Mayweather. Who beat Mayweather UFC? Uh-huh. So all right, so for right now, since we've been talking for a while, right? So for right now, who's the top three? And we could name the top three right now. Name your top three, and then we just talk about the top three, and then we dissect it. So there's Canelo for me. There's Canelo. There's Pacquiao. Damn. Ward. Could Ward. Who's who? All right, let me say that. Tim, that's my like original pick, but when we start talking about it, it's like, yo, who's okay? Who got better accomplishments, Andre Ward or Book Crawford? And I don't even want to go so much into it, but just off the top of your head right now, when you think about Andre Ward or Book Crawford in this decade. Remember the Super Series with Andre Ward went to the light heavyweight. Triple G. Triple G had a long reign, man. That's another one. But he lost to Canelo Alvarez. Manny got all the accomplishments of the decade, my man. Manny got all the accomplishments. Yeah, but Manny Pacquiao lost 3 times too. You gotta mention the losses. A losses has to take into effect. So let's put it this way: if Canelo Alvarez accomplished what he accomplished and would have lost 4 times, will he be on the list? Will Mayweather be on the list if he would have lost even 2 times? Will he be on the list? If Deontay Wilder would have lost to Tyson Fury, will he be on the list? If Andre Ward would have lost 3 times, will he be on the list? So we have to account, even though that Manny Pacquiao accomplished things, we also have to account that he has lost things as well. Alvarez versus Ward, I will take Ward easy. Okay, we got somebody with Ward. Got somebody with Ward. Mm. 2 division where I think he won. Well, how many division titles he won? In this decade, 2, right? 168, 175. Canelo got caught with PD. Yeah, diminish. I said that it does diminish the guy. It does diminish. Even if I have him first in my does not deserve the award. Why does Ward doesn't deserve the award? I want you to elaborate a little bit so we could just because when we all elaborate, then we all could be like, yo, it's true what Bob said. Yeah, it's true. Now let's take him out. Boom. Dog, already, but you're not listening to the whole thing. All I'm saying is Pacquiao has accomplishments, but nobody that's picking Pacquiao is really mentioning his loss, and we have to take that into accountability at that. As a Filipino, I'm biased for Manny Pacquiao, but Pacquiao won it already. So he see, but like I said, you see, in the beginning of the live show, I say we have to break things down unbiasedly, logically, and objectively. So if I say I am biased to because look, if I say I'm biased to, when I say, put it this way, when I say Manny Pacquiao, if y'all follow me, some of y'all, if y'all haven't, you already know, subscribe to the channel, my peoples, smash the like button and everything. If y'all follow me, I said, and I remember I think I was the first, one of the first one in the video that said that Manny Pacquiao is better than Muhammad Ali. Everybody came at me. Oh shit. But I said Manny Pacquiao is the GOAT, the greatest of all time. I didn't say that because I was biased to Manny Pacquiao. I said it because I really do think that Manny Pacquiao was the GOAT. And I went through accomplishments. And I went through difficulties. And I went through 8 division world champions. And I went with who he beat. I don't remember the last time Manny Pacquiao had a warm-up fight or a tune-up fight. You know? So I didn't say it because I'm biased. I'm saying because it just straight makes damn sense. Even if a guy like, even if let's say if I hated Manny Pacquiao, if I'm a hardcore boxing fan, he's the greatest because what he has done and the difficulties of how he's done it. But when we're talking about this decade, we have to see that he did lose. He got knocked out by Marquez. He lost to on Floyd Mayweather. That we're also debating if he's fight of the decade itself. We have to accomplish. We have to mention the accomplishments, but also let's not neglect the loss. We're not gonna neglect the Triple G draw. We're not gonna neglect Canelo Alvarez testing positive, and he became 8 division world champion in 2010, but um he didn't accomplish 8 division world champion. That's what we're talking about this decade. We can't bring other accomplishments from another decade into this decade. That's almost like saying, well, Floyd Mayweather was 50-0 in this decade. Nah. We can't. We gotta leave that. The A division. That's for another. The A division. We come with that when we talking about the best of all time, the greatest of all time. That one. That's when the A division world champion comes. Let's just strictly break it down. 2010 up to 2020. Carlo. Oh, because he was. Alva. Do a, who agrees with Canelo being disqualified of the list? Mm. Who agrees with Carlo? Who else agrees that he should be disqualified? I don't think he should be disqualified of the list. Now I'm gonna keep it real. If y'all follow me, you saw how hard I went after Dillian White. I went hard at Dillian White. You know why? Because he was tested positive during the fight, meaning he put the fighter in danger, knocked out his opponent. Count the belt and the championship fight, dude. Simple. No, you can't only. I could count that, but we also got to count the championship. We got to count it who they beat as well and how they beat them. Because think about it, we can't. For example, if if we only count belts, also we got to count it how they got the belt. Cause look, how do y'all feel how Devin Haney gained his WBC belt? I mean, I'm a hardcore boxing fan. I didn't like it at all. So we just can't count if they champions because we got to look at how they became champions. A lot of fighters become champion. They're just fighting over vacant belts. Do you really believe that the BS Canelo was saying that it came from the me? Keep it real. I don't believe. Gotta fight count. Yeah. Um, I do believe him when he said it was the meat. Yet I think he's stupid for knowing that he's eating contaminated meat because everybody knows that. Everybody knows that from soccer is that's very familiar. That is very familiar in Mexico. He should know. And he got money. He got so much money.